Hey everybody, welcome back. Another edition of Live Free. This is Joe White from Get Life Coaching, and ended early today. It's 5:30, and it was an amazing day working with clients. And I made some key distinctions I want to share with you real quickly here that I believe is going to deliver some major impact. And that's what I love. I love that impact that happens right now. I don't think life is that complicated. I think there's basic truths in life, and when you can embody them and digest them, you're able to get instant results with them. And sometimes the application of those truths, that takes a little bit of effort. That takes a little bit of time. That's like building the muscle. But truth is truth, my friends, and this is true. That you're never going to be hungry for what you really want when you are consistently filling yourself with what you don't. And I'll say that again. You will never, ever be hungry for what you want as long as you are consistently filling yourself with what you don't. What I mean by this was the other day I was driving home, little confession, and I try my best to eat healthy. I do a good job of it. Sometimes I do a really, really good job of it. Sometimes, like this case, I don't do a great job at it. And I have some good food at home. I just went shopping. So I got all this great food, but I haven't eaten all day. Probably that's my first mistake. So I was really, really hungry. And I was driving home. I'm like, God, I gotta get something in my stomach. You ever do that? You start talking like, God forbid if I wait another hour before I eat. It's going to mean the end of my life. I don't know how I'm going to survive. But we do that. We talk ourselves into it. I'm like, I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry. I go, crap. And I'm pulling the 7-Eleven. And I go and grab a Snickers bar. I was really hungry, so I grabbed a big king-size Snickers bar. I was craving that sugar, craving something sweet. And I ate it. I'm like, oh, God, I feel good now. So about 10 minutes afterwards, I started getting a stomach ache. Because I haven't eaten all day. I put junk in my stomach, and I started feeling like crap. I'm like, why did I just wait? Because by the time I got home, I have all this food. You think I'm hungry? No, I wasn't really hungry. I felt crappy. And I could have forecasted it because it wasn't the first time I've done this. And if you're like me, you've probably done something similar, maybe, kind of, right? Yes. You're never going to be hungry for what you want when you're consistently filling yourself with what you don't. See, that's what we do. Because in our heads, in our brains, in our nervous system, we've been conditioned to believe that feeling of emptiness. Now I'm speaking a little bit more metaphorically about this hunger, but the same thing with actually being hungry for food. We feel empty. We feel not enough. We feel less than. We feel deprived. We feel we should be able to. We feel disconnected, discontent. We feel all these negative feelings that we have associated to being hungry. To being hungry. So what we want to do, we want to fill it instantly. We take anything. It's like a time when I was a kid. I used to go to these high school dances. They're called Bonner Mixers, and the high school was called Monsignor Bonner. And I remember I used to go to these dances, and in the very beginning, my strategy wasn't that smart. I'll go after the first girl I saw. The first girl that would dance with me, that would be my dance partner for the whole day. Well, there might have been someone better down the road. There might have been the good-looking girl, the really hot-looking chick who would come in 10 minutes later. If I was tied to one, I wouldn't know what to do. But that's what we do. We jump at that first opportunity. Anything to get filled. Anything to get that sense of completion, that connection. But the price that you pay is huge. The price that you pay, because that hunger is really called drive. People come to me all the time and say, I have no drive, I have no drive. Of course, if you're stuffing yourself, stuffing your face with stuff you don't want, you're not going to be hungry, you're not going to have the drive. Because it's that disconnection that inspires us. It's that gap of where we are to where we want to be. See, some people go, oh my God, I'm not where I want to be. Other people say, you know what? Great. Now I have a challenge. Now I have a worthy opponent. An opportunity to grow, to expand. So we end up, as I knock over my bottle here, not like a bottle, but a bottle of water. Anyway, we end up losing our drive. And we can't understand why we're not going after what we want. Why we're spending too much time in stagnation and not enough time in growth. And I'll end with this. So we always must grow. We got to understand the forces. We got to understand how we're wired so we can work within it and also change it. And we all know we have this need for certainty. Malcolm talked about this. We have a need for certainty, for comfort. It's like a gravitational pull. And it's always pulling us. It takes effort and energy not to fall over when you're standing or sitting. And whether you think it or not, easy or hard, it does. Put a little baby, stand on the feet, you can see they haven't mastered the art of defying gravity yet. But most adults can. So we sit up and we're fine. But if I were to pass out right now, I would eventually fall to the ground. Gravity would have went over. So that need for certainty, comfort, familiarity, all of that is always pulling us. But we know whatever doesn't grow dies. So we stay in certainty. If you stay in stagnation, it's death. It's that emotional death. But then our Creator, whoever put us together, right, decide, let me really make this person interesting. Let me give them a need to go this way, but a desire to go that way. And that's what happens. Because we must grow. It's an opposite need, but it's a need that defines us. Because whatever doesn't grow dies. And that's almost like defying gravity. I think of a spaceship. It takes all that energy and effort to break out the gravitational pull of the Earth. And we must not do it today. We must do it tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. That consistent action. We must constantly try to break free or resist or to defy gravity, to defy certainty or a need for certainty so that we can continue to grow and flourish and become more. And that's where we find fulfillment. But we don't get that. We just get the comfort when we're always stuffing our faces with what we don't want. In other words, we can't settle. We can't get the cheap thrill, the cheap pop, the Snickers bar. Demand more from yourself. Strive for more. Use hunger as drive to get what you want. And if you're able to do that, you'll begin to grow. And then the more you grow, the more you expand. The more you expand, the more fulfillment in life. Because you'll take that abundance and you'll share it with others, those you love, to your community, to the world. So don't eat the Snickers bar. My name is Joe White from Get Life Coaching. Until next time, I wish you love and passion. Have an amazing night day. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.